Riley from the blog Mama Knows It All, and I'm also one of the co-founders of the amazing blogging group Pushing Lovely. So in our group, as you guys know, we talk about things all the time about, how can we just be better bloggers. So today the conversation came up about getting more page views, because more page views equals more money in a lot of ways. So I said, let's jump on and talk about some of the things. Now, some of these things are going to sound like a broken record, but the reality is, these things work, and I think we'll have plenty of time to do some personal stuff if you guys want to show your blog and talk about what you've tried, and maybe we can figure out what's working and what's not working. All right, so how to get more page views. It's really not difficult if you do this one thing, which is write what people want to read. And that can be challenging if if you are writing, if you started your blog for personal reasons, like if you're writing it's a journal type blog or something like that, because you get into the rhythm of just writing whatever you feel like it. But if you really want to monetize and you really want to make a full-time career profession out of blogging, then you have to take into consideration your readers, because those clicks, their clicks matter. So thinking about what it is that they want to read about. Maybe they do want to read about your divorce or your weight loss or your weight gain or your pregnancy, but when you write, you want to make sure that you're providing some sort of information that's going to benefit them. That's not just you sharing your story. You've kind of, dumped it all out and now you can exhale. So what benefit does a reader get from coming to your blog? And you have to do that consistently so that people know, okay, this blog is a place where I can come, I can get filled up, and I can come back again, and I can share it with people, and it truly is a resource. So definitely posting what people want to read. The other thing is posting often, posting consistently. If you think about some of the big sites like BlogHer or BuzzFeed or any of those, Mashable, any of those websites like that have, 1 million, 2 million readers every month, the reason is, and even like a lot of the deal bloggers that have super high page views, that's because they are posting more than one time a day. So maybe you only post 3 times a week, but you can maybe take some time to write some smaller posts where you can post every single day. And even if you could post twice a day during the Christmas season is a great time to do that, then that's a good way to get your blog out there. It's more consistent and people know to come back to your site because it is a resource in that way. And I know that Saida's on the call, she's muted, but I know that she can probably attest to that. Sometimes you'll think about us on Facebook. We're at work or we're wherever, we log off or we get off the page and we end up coming back. So you can make your blog a habit for readers if you're posting good stuff consistently, or even just little stuff that's not good, but just little nuggets of information that they can definitely use. I'm going to go through this whole list and then come back with any questions that you guys have. The other thing that I noticed, there's a blogger in our group today that I sent an email to who has tremendous page views this month, and I looked on her site and she's not, there are easy ways that she can maximize that she's not doing it. Maximize the page views. So even if you're getting 5,000 page views a day, there are things that you can do to double that or to triple that. The first thing is adding an app on your site like Related Post. I don't have super high page views, but I can tell you why. I don't post consistently. I post what I feel like posting when I feel like posting. However, when I do write something that really hits with people and they really, they really like it and it gets people to my sites, I have tons of folks that just kind of go through, clicking through, because I have this Related Post app on the bottom of all of my posts, and it shows posts that are similar to those that are kind of in the same category. So like when I put my wedding pictures up, a lot of people went for that. But then under there I had, things about relationships, my relationship with my husband now, back in back in the day. I have issue, and then once you click through, next you're looking at my stories about being a single mom, and you're looking at, stories about me dating, and I can go through and I can see like people going post by post by post, just going through the blog and getting to know me in that way. And every time they click, that's a page view. And if I was monetizing, that would be maybe like 0.2 cents. But they do add up if you're writing, if you're planning a business and you're working for people to get, to click. So definitely using an app like Related Posts. And another thing is just at the bottom of your post, even if you have related apps, just saying, if you like this, you'll love checking this out, and just putting a link to one more other post. Or, like for my wedding series, when I was writing about saving money on weddings, how to save money on wedding flowers. And then at the end of that, even though that related post thing is down at the bottom, just still adding other links and say, hey, make sure you check out the other posts in this series. So, that's just really easy ways that once you get people to your site, that you can get them staying on your site and clicking around and spending more time. Because coming for one post and dipping out after 20 seconds is, that's not awesome. You can make people longtime readers and advocates. And I have people now that say, if they're reading something and or on Facebook and somebody says, I'm looking for this or I need to do this, they'll link to a blog post that I write. Oh, my husband's home. Hold on. Hi, honey. I'm doing a Hangout. All right. And it's live on Google, so. Okay. All right. So use apps like Related Posts, add links to the post. The other thing, and this is old school page views, this is old school how to get page views, how to increase your readership. It's commenting on other people's blogs. I don't have any sort of blog program that links to other people's sites on my blog. Although with Discuss, if you put your URL in there, if somebody clicks on your name, they can see they'll come to your blog. But there are programs that have the link, at the bottom, where if you comment, your most recent blog post will come up. And if you spend time, even if you can block out an hour a week and spend time just commenting on a bunch of different blogs that are in the same genre as yours, you'll find that you'll start getting people coming to your site from those blogs that you're commenting on. I still get traffic from a comment on Scary Mommy's blog that I posted. It had to be like 2 years ago, because I don't necessarily go there often now, and I don't comment there at all. But I still get people from that comment, coming onto my site. So definitely commenting on other blogs and sites. 1 second, you guys. All right. This is it's 6:15 here, so that's when everybody gets home. All right. The other thing, and y'all know I'm going to say this, but SEO, search engine optimization, it doesn't have to be difficult, but it is about taking strategy behind it. However, you can absolutely just put some of these very simple strategies into place and find that you'll get an increase in your readership. I mean, like I said, I don't post every day, still a large amount of my traffic comes from Google. Now that I have enough posts in my portfolio, my online portfolio, where people are looking for. If you Google, how to save money on wedding flowers, my post is on the first page. And I know that because in my analytics, it's saying, number 5, Google. So it's number 5 on the list of how to save money on wedding flowers. That's pretty huge, and I get a lot of traffic from that. How to wear white jeans, where I featured Aurelis and Patricia are featured in that post, but people are still Googling that. I get people right now from other countries, because I guess it's summer in different places, where they're, asking how do I wear white jeans, and that's also on one of the first, I think it's on the first page, but it might be on the top of the second page. Or I hate flip-flops. That's actually, I get a lot of traffic from that. So thinking about whenever you write your post, if you write a post about, making oatmeal, think about what would a random person search on Google if they're looking to make really great oatmeal. All right, last thing that I have is syndicate. That's where sometimes bloggers fall short in getting page views, syndicating. So once you write your blog post, just leaving it there is not an option. Like Mira will tell you, you want to have a hero image or an image with a nice title and all sorts of things like that that you can post on Pinterest with a good image and something that people will click on. And it has a link to your blog, and you'll pin that. You also want to put it, promote it on Twitter. You want to have it go to, and I for a long time was against having it go to my personal Facebook page, but now I just have my network blogs just go there, and people, and I'm finding that people actually are interested in reading that stuff. I don't promote it super heavily on my personal page because I don't want to spam my family and friends, but it automatically goes there once I press publish. Then you want to publish it. You want to promote it on your Facebook page for your blog. You can cross-promote. You can cross-post it on sites like BlogHer or Project Eve that Janine is a big member of. Like, she participates a lot, and she's one of the editors. You can post it on Pushing Lovely, which Aurelis will tell you. Our sweet little site is hitting high on for SEO because we're really it may not have the best design right now. It may not have all the great graphics and things like that, but what we do have is content that is written for SEO and people are looking for it. So when Huffington Post was looking for shoppers, holiday shoppers for tips, they found Aurelis because her blog posts on Pushing Lovely came up high. So considering cross-promoting, because even if somebody doesn't come to your blog, they may be a BlogHer reader and go there every single day. And you can just copy and paste your blog post there a couple days later, or you can even change like a few of the first sentences and put it there. And Janine does that a lot. So those are the ways that honestly you can get more page views. There's how do you get to 1 million? You can go viral, and that happens. Right now, Sarah in our group is going viral with her Disney template, her pumpkin templates. She put it on Pinterest. A lot of people are coming to it from Google, and it's Halloween. It's timely, it's informative, it's what people are looking for, and she's getting 10,000 page views a day off of it. So that's one way something can go viral. So I would not spend my life trying to figure out what goes viral, but it does pay to just be aware and attuned to the world around you, pop culture, your community culture, and consider how you can integrate some of that into your site. How else can you go viral? Well, having, honestly, like, even if your stuff isn't awesome, like your pictures aren't fantastic like mine, you can put together a really nice image with a nice a nice hero image for Pinterest. You can curate things that people want to see, like 100 best turkey recipes for Thanksgiving. you know, 100 ways to show your husband you love him, whatever. You know, I was doing wedding contests when I was engaged, and I got a lot of, and I would just pull lists and, you know, make a little header, and I got a lot of hits off of that with people Googling wedding contests. So you can do something like that, you know, where you go on Pinterest and you do something that is super, super relevant, that, you know, a lot of, you know, and especially with the curated stuff, it's just, people just like going one place to get all of their stuff. So if they can get, you know, 20 great turkey recipes, or, you know, 20 of the best ways to wear scarves, I'm thinking about Pam Brown, you know, 20 of the best ways to wear scarves, they'll come to your, they'll click on your site. And if you have those other apps in place, they'll click around, and you can, you know, and you have other good posts, you can get good readers that way. All right, so how not to get more page views. Now, these are just my personal preferences, but since I'm leading the Hangout, I'm going to share that. Do not over promote. For me, and I know a lot of people like me, so I'm a Scorpio. I'm going to tell you a little bit myself. I'm a Scorpio. I am an introvert. I am cynical. Like, I'm all those things. So if somebody just kind of over promotes, like, I've never seen the Titanic because people kind of like hyped it up so much. So I'm like, no, I don't need to see that. So if you overhype, if you over promote, like, at some point people are going to kind of get a little annoyed with you. And I'm not saying that you can't, like, if you're giving them something useful, and I'll use a Proverbs wife as an example. There, you know, on her Facebook page, there's posts all the time, you know, like pictures and links to her site and all that. Every single one is useful to the reader. It's not just Saida's world, just this is what I want. Janine's is the same way. You can go to her site and you can find something useful. You can get information that is going to benefit you. That's not just, okay, I'm just hearing about Janine's life and what does that mean for me? So, you know, promoting if it's going to benefit people, but not promoting just for the sake of saying, hey, please read my site. The other thing I would say is, you know, keep in mind that when we started blogging, when I started blogging anyway, I didn't know that there was such a huge community of bloggers. And I think now we're kind of in a place where we're supporting each other, but I'd like to get every single one of us to a place where people who aren't bloggers are coming to our site and finding our site useful and beneficial to them. And that has to do with, you know, just being in different places. So being on websites that aren't necessarily blogs and commenting, you know, like on, even though they're kind of annoying sometimes, like newspaper sites and things like that. And but just being different places and trying to reach out to people that aren't bloggers. So that's why I think it's so important to reply to comments, because, you know, somebody replies to your comment and they're not a blogger and they're not friends with you on Facebook, you know, one of the other 600 bloggers that you're friends with, you know, they're the people that are at work sharing the link to your blog with different people. So keep that in mind. And that is all that I wanted to share. I know a lot of it is repetitious, and you guys have heard it before, but I think it helps to just kind of say it. So I want to open up for questions or thoughts. So, yeah. And you guys will have to unmute, or you can leave a comment.
I had a question before everybody gets into their thing. What is a hero image?
Oh, good question. A hero image is what we call just a profile photo or a featured photo that you can put on Pinterest. So, like the hero image, if somebody is making, like we're making easy oatmeal muffins, you know, it'll have the tag that says easy oatmeal muffins. It'll be a beautiful picture of the muffins that'll drive people in, and it's, you know, perfectly formatted so that it fits on Pinterest. You know, it draws people to your site. So the hero image is whatever the image is that's going to bring people to your site off of other sites like Pinterest or Stumble Upon or even Twitter or Instagram. That's a good question, Jean. Other questions or comments? I know Saida's here, and she has a lot. I know she has a lot to say about page views because she's worked on that, and she's like amazing.
Yeah, I'm on sound restriction because it's 9:30 here.
Oh, okay.
But you did a great job, Brandi. You shared a lot of good information.
Thank you. So I would suggest you guys to go and look at, just look through Saida's, her Facebook page, look at her blog posts, and just see some of those plugins that she has in there. You can check out the plugin on my site, just on the bottom, related post, how it shows different things. And, just let your readers explore and get to know you that way. So how many of you are using related posts already? You can write on the side if you related posts or something like that. Me, I use InRelate, yeah. Heather, I use something like that, Janine, good. I did on Blogger, but not sure what to use on WordPress, something like that. All right, yeah, I use Link Within. Yeah, Link Within is what I use. And I actually have, thank you for saying that, Janine, because I was actually confused today because I must have uploaded Zamanta also, but, and it had double, so I can take that off. But I forgot, yeah, Link Within is the one that I use also. And so any specific questions about getting more page views? Like, how are your page views now? Some folks like Kim, I think your page views should be pretty high because you work a lot of, you do a lot of articles and you do,
he has to stop it.
Recipes and things like that. So your stuff should definitely be pretty high.
What do you consider high?
I would say, between 12 and up per month.
I'm not even anywhere near that. I'm around 4 a month.
Yeah, I gotta look at your site.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with that. Are you doing the cross promotion and all that kind of stuff?
I do a lot of syndication. I haven't cross posted on Blogger or anything like that. So when I looked at my stats through my host, the numbers are significantly higher than Google Analytics. I'm not sure what's going on, but everyone uses Google Analytics, as the base.
Yeah, what I know, because I'm the same way. Like my hits on Stat Counter are a lot higher because I know, and on WordPress too. But I know that sometimes they count. Well, they count if you look at your own blog. If you don't check off that you don't want them to count your stuff. And then if there are any Google bots that are, not just Google, but any bots that are like scanning, Facebook, I'm noticing, does a lot of scanning of posts. If you have a page on Facebook, seems like they come there a lot. And then Google, when it indexes, like they send, their little bots through to check all that kind of stuff. So I would say that yeah, you got to go with Google, which stinks. Do you have? Oh, you don't have in Link Within or anything yet, but you'll get that. And then it looks like the other thing, even though you say that you syndicate, you may not be syndicating enough. And I know Janine can speak to this. Because we get to a place where we don't want to spam folks, we share a couple times and then that's it. But, people are all over the place. People are all over the country. People are looking at Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest at different times. So you can absolutely, like one post, Janine, how many times would you say that you syndicate on just Facebook alone for one post?
I usually do Facebook 3 times a day, each post different times a day. And then I also do the daily post 3 times a day on Facebook. And then I do one of my old posts that had good page views or that I want to get good page views. I do that once a day on Facebook to try and get more views on it.
Is that on your personal page or your fan page or all together?
I do it on both.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 times a day on both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what, Kim? I mean, like with Facebook algorithms, it's not like if you put a link, like Janine's links don't have a picture to it. So it's not like it's, here's the same picture 17 times, it's a link and you see it or you don't see it, but the way Facebook is, if 2 people click, like on it, then it may move to the top. If nobody does, then nobody may see it that first time or even the second time. They may not really see it until the 3rd time that it posts.
Okay. And Janine, do you schedule this like on Hootsuite or something, or what do you do?
Yeah, I schedule it on Hootsuite. Once a month, I pick the post. Every Monday is going to be the same post. I think it's at 8 o'clock. And so every Monday there's the same post. Every Tuesday there's a different one. Wednesday. So I do that. I schedule that on Hootsuite. And then with the new posts for each day, I schedule that on Hootsuite also.
Okay, thank you.
And it looks like, so Patricia said, did you say 1,200 per day? Janine, you actually post three times per day for one post. Yeah, she does do that. And 1,200 page views per day. No, I was thinking, like, for Kim, I would say, I would imagine that she, like, would be at at least 10,000 page views a month. And I think for any of us, especially if you're posting consistently, like that's a good goal to try to reach for, and it's actually quite doable. Even with me, like if you think about it, let me pull the calculator. That's, there's 30 days, 10,000 divided by 30. That's 333 page views a day. So, some days you might have 600, some days you might have 100. I try to average, it's a goal, but I'm getting a little track, I'm just reaching 1,200. What is up with that? Yeah, because Patricia, you're actually just kind of getting started. You're not, it's like you changed over your name, you're doing, you're just getting started. So it's going to take a while to build that traction up. Janine will tell you, we started, like really pushing for numbers together at the same time. She goes and, does a lot. And Janine, can you talk about this? Because I don't really do this, but Janine does a lot of promotion with groups where they support you. Like they will check on, they'll check your Facebook or they'll write a comment. And I know people don't necessarily like that. You feel like it's not authentic. But if you just need to get over a hump, helping to massage the Facebook algorithm definitely is, it's not a terrible thing. Because really, even if you have 1,000 likes on Facebook, it's possible that 2 people are seeing it unless you're, asking people to click or you're, being specific about trying to get that. So Janine, can you talk about some of those groups that you're in? And do you have any that you think Patricia might be a good fit for?
Yeah, I'll get those while I'm talking. I joined some of those groups because I needed help with my numbers. And that's all they do is people will go to this group and there's one of them that did with Alexa. And so what they will do is they will have people go and look at your blog, 3 blog posts a day, every day. So and if there are 30, 40 people in the group doing that, that's 120 views that you didn't do any work for. And there are other groups that I belong to that will make sure that people go and comment on your blog every day. I have a list of several of them that I belong to, and I'm going to put them in the comments in a second. I'll just copy them from Facebook. But what they did do was help me to increase my numbers as far as page views, as far as Twitter followers, blog loving followers, Pinterest, and a lot of those numbers were massaged. But from those massaged numbers, I did get people who do come back and make real comments. So I can see the difference between real comments and just, oh, this was a nice post comment. And so when I started off, I was getting all fake comments, I call them. But now I'm getting more comments from people that require me to give a response, and that feels good. Now, as far as time, I see a question about that. It does take time to do all that reciprocation. For me, with the groups I'm in, that's an hour a day just for reciprocation on those groups. And because I need to increase my numbers, because I want to do my ebook sales, because I want to do speaking engagements, because I'm going to be restarting my law practice and I want to get some traction, I needed to get my numbers up. And so I joined those groups. They don't give a hoochie coochie about me at all. I don't try to make them cry for their birthday. I don't help them with anything. It's all strictly numbers. We don't care about each other. We just don't. It's just a numbers thing. Yeah. And so those groups, that's all they're good for. Like I said, I'll give you the names, and I like them because they did help with my numbers, and I needed the help with my numbers. I think as my numbers get better with certain things, I won't need to use the group. But for now, honestly speaking, to get certain opportunities that I want, I need the help. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it takes me about an hour a day between all the groups to do the reciprocation. And some of these people, they don't have lives, they don't have hobbies. All they have is these groups, and if you don't reciprocate, they call you out by name and make you mad and have you wanting to go to some foreign state and beat up people. So I would say I'll give you the list of the ones I belong to. Some of the other ladies in the group belong to some of them. Mm-hmm. And just start off with maybe one group and work your way through it, because it's a time commitment. But the difference between me and a lot of you is that I'm trying to make this a full-time business. My husband has given me a year from September to start making enough money for him to live on. And so I have to put the time in to do my writing, to do sponsored pieces, to do freelance writing. So this is a job for me. So I take it seriously and treat it like a business. So it's going to depend on the amount of commitment that you want to put into it and that you have to put on it. If you're working a 9 to 5, you're working all day long for someone else, whereas I'm sitting at my desk from 8:30 in the morning when I put the kids on a school bus until 4:15 when I run to the corner to get them from the school bus. I'm writing either on my blog or doing reciprocation or working on my ebooks or trying to line up sponsored jobs or freelance writing jobs. And so that's a difference. You have to work with your realistic time allocations.
Yeah, you definitely do. And that's why, I mean, like for me, that's why I decided, let me focus on SEO so that I can get views on my site even when I'm not writing. You know, so there was and actually Joyce, I think it was July, there was one month that she was like, let's have, I think it might have been April, you know, let's have an ebook, not an ebook, another challenge. Let's have a challenge where we, you know, where you write a post every single day. And I did, and that actually got me thinking of like some more general type posts that I could write. And I still like those posts from April, a lot of them, included in the wedding posts, are where I'm getting a lot of the traffic. So like for instance, like Heather said, she's pretty much doing everything on the list. First of all, she worries about overdoing the social media. You're not overdoing it, but for Heather, can you put the link to your blog on the side? And we'll do like a 2-minute, just a 2-minute quick, let's do this, because this will help other people. Every single person on this, I'm looking here, Heather, Janine, Makiba, Pam, Patricia, Saida, Kim, Denise, and Val, like all of you guys have great sites. Like you have great things to say. So it's not necessarily about changing up what you write, but it might be writing more about it and being more specific about what you call it. So, you know, Janine talked about the editorial calendar. We had that. Heather, put the link to your blog on the side, please, in the group chat. But you know about the editorial calendar. So for the editorial calendar, you guys, seriously, every month, if you can have just 5 general type things, things that anybody is going to look for, you know, fashion stuff people look for, food stuff people look for, health stuff. Do I have a cold? Or how do I cure a cold? Or, you know, general stuff like that. So no matter what you write about, there are people that are out there searching for those things. And maybe it's that you need to have just a few things that are a little more simple for people to find. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to look at Heather's post. Heather, do you mind? If you mind, say, okay, if you don't say anything, I'm going to say you don't mind. Just because usually what I find is looking at other people's sites, or just even looking at one site together, it'll help all of us, myself included. Because I know Heather, she says she don't mind. I know Heather is a great blogger, so I'm surprised that she doesn't have, uh-oh, what's happening? Do you guys see Heather's blog? Or do y'all see something weird?
We see Heather's blog now.
Okay, good. All right, here we go, right here. This post you should have, all right, you just put this post up today, Heather, how to roast a pumpkin. You should have 1 million quadrillion page views on this already. I'm going to tell you why you don't. This is not an awesome hero image right here, this how to roast a pumpkin. So like for your hero image, you want something that people are going to be able to know exactly what they're going to get when they come to your site. And even though it has how to roast a pumpkin, you know, Pinterest is visual. So they want to see what does the Pinterest look like, I mean, what does the pumpkin look like once it's roasted? So even if it were a picture of not even just this pumpkin, maybe you just use a pumpkin that is, you know, that's not ready to be roasted, but a bright orange, beautiful pumpkin, and use, you know, a tab on there. That's going to entice somebody to click. I mean, this is perfect. This step by step by step, it's a great post, but on Pinterest, with all the other pictures that folks have on there. And I'm just honest with people because I want you to get more views and I want you to make more money and all that. They're not going to click on that. If they have to choose between this and a picture of a beautiful orange pumpkin, they won't click this. And that's just, I don't know. That's just, people are just crazy like that. You don't have, under here, you don't have the related posts. So if somebody does come over to your blog, they're not going to be able to, you know, see what else should I look at. So you definitely want to have something there where people can see what else you have on your site. Or even if you have other, you know, oh, this is good. You have this here. What will I make with my pumpkin puree? But even something more specific like, what will I make with my pumpkin puree? Check out these great recipes. You know, and then so that people can actually like tell people what they, or click on these great recipes. Tell people exactly what it is that you want them to do. I mean, your posts are great, like awesome, awesome SEO, like things that people are gonna look for, like family vacation, creation museum. I would imagine a bunch of folks would be looking for that. But yeah, just definitely like your hero images will be the thing that will probably take you over the top. And even like this should probably get you a lot of stuff, but for Pinterest, if instead of fabulously frugal tips roundup, it could be, you know, frugal food and fruit, you know, ways to save on, you know, your pumpkin spice latte, or just something that's more specific that will, in all of the gorgeousness that is Pinterest, that will entice people to shop. Or, well, shop, click, same thing. But your site definitely has, like, you know, your posts are definitely everything people would need and people would want. It's just a matter of your presentation. Oh, she said related posts should fly out from the side. Let me unscreen share because that's really weird. Yeah, I don't know. Fly out? You mean it should come in, Heather? Let's see what she says. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, even if it flies out from the side, put it at the bottom too, because people read down, and then if they want more, then they want to click more. Once you get 3/4 of the way, it should fly in from the left. Yeah, put it at the bottom too. Even if you have that one, put it at the bottom too. Because people, when they're, first of all, if they're reading and they're into your post and something flies out and stops them from reading, they may get angry if they're like crazy, like me. But if they're reading it and they enjoy it and they see more posts at the bottom, then they'll click. And even if you had it at the bottom, those posts that you shared, those recipes that you shared, would probably come up with pictures, with gorgeous pictures.
Brandi, I'm going to ask you an SEO question. Now, I have my editorial calendar done. Most of my stuff is evergreen stuff, so that makes a lot of my job easier. But my question is this. When I have a place on my editorial calendar for keyword search. And when I sit down and I look at my title and I actually sit down and look up the keywords to figure out if I was trying to find this, how would I Google it? When I do that, I get better titles and I get more page views for that. Yeah. So I think I need some help with how to do that better. I think maybe I just have poor research skills because it's hard for me to find the good SEO titles. When I put in the work, I get the good results. I guess what I'm saying to myself is that I need to stop being lazy and put in the work, because when I do it, it works.
It does work if you put in the work, but for every single one of the women on this call, I would say your mothers, you are, caring people. People will tell you that I'm crazy. They might say that I'm crazy, but I'm not. Go with your gut. Go with your heart. When you're writing your post and you're thinking of your title, think, be empathetic to other people. What would somebody want? What would somebody, because all of your posts, you're thinking about how they're going to be a resource to other people. So what would other people who aren't me, like, how would they try to find this information? And I mean, you can certainly research it, and people make a lot of money researching keywords, and they make a lot of money doing it for companies. When I'm like, listen, what do you feel? Go with your heart, especially you, Janine, business. All your posts are business posts. So, bloggers, we kind of have to be like counselors almost, or social workers, and think about or psychologists even, think about what other folks are thinking about, and that's where you come up with your keywords, because some of the keywords that you get from Google may not necessarily even be helpful, or they may not be the ones that necessarily draw the most people or keep the people on your site based on what your post is truly about. So if you think about your one post, and I'd be surprised if you don't get a lot of posts hits on this, but the one about how when you're searching for a job when you have a job that's when you should be searching for a job. You know which one I'm talking about, Janine?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, people do still follow that, and that one's old, and people still follow that.
The way that the title is very simple. It's like, I think it might even be look for a job when you have a job, or something like that. It's something that, if you're desperate and you're like, oh my God, I hate my job. How do I look for a job if I have a job? I mean, I tell people all the time. I remember one time I Googled, what should I do with my life? Because I was just like, I don't know what to do. Help me, Google. And it did. It actually, Google did help me. There's a book called that. But, somebody was smart enough to write a book called What Should I Do With My Life? He built a website around it. It wasn't actually like a whole book, but he built a website around it, and it was stories of what people decided to do with their life, and there were, tests of things that you can figure out, what to do and all that kind of stuff. But, keeping it simple, number one, and then coming from the place of, who are the people that I'm trying to help, and what is their mindset, and what would they be looking for?
You know what? I'm thinking about your hero images because you always are jumping on me about my pictures, and I'm trying to get better with that. But you know what was interesting? I'm looking at my statistics on my WordPress statistics. And you know what I got searches from the past few days was Google Images.
Really?
I got Google, people did Google searches to get to me. Those of you who don't know me, that's a big deal because nobody ever found me on Google search. But now people are finding me on Google search, Yahoo search. But what I'm seeing here is people are finding me from Google Image. And that's something I never thought about till just this second. Those images that we pay attention to for Pinterest, Google is paying attention to them also. And so that's another reason for us to care about our pictures. I never thought about it till just this second.
Right. Well, they are. And also, I mean, Google's paying attention to what you name your photos anyway. You know, so, well, a couple things. Of course, you guys all have Google authorship, right? If you don't, you definitely want to do that. And there's a plugin. Yeah, Val has it. Good. There's a plugin, and after like Janine kind of like kept talking about it, I was like, let me go ahead and do this. But it helps people to click on your stuff when they see it on Google a lot faster because your picture's there. It like indents the information so that it's a little less just a lit. Like it makes you stand out. Basically, it spotlights your article on Google. That's number one. Number two, you know, my thing is there should never be a picture that goes onto your blog that hasn't first been edited in some way. Like, if you don't know how to edit, that's fine, but at least resize it, you know. And so when you go on, when you upload your photo to WordPress, you know, you want to name it. Like, you want to put the alt name in there. You want to just, you want to use the keyword. So not like, you know, don't make it look like, or however pictures, you know, look like this. You know, you don't want it to look like that. You want to rename the picture. You want to put a description in there. So a lot of mine that I use are natural hair preschooler, or afro hair, or little girl afro hair, because all my pictures are clearly of Ava. You know, but pictures that people, like, I don't want them using my pictures, but if they come to my site because, you know, if they find my site, and I do get people that come that are obviously looking for something else, but they might stay a little while and check a couple things out because it's something, you know, they get there and it's interesting. So you want to rename all your pictures, save them as whatever they are, you know, little girl in car. You want to name it whatever it is, and, you know, put a couple of keywords in there. Don't go overboard with your keywords. Dan Morris, who is the SEO guru, and he's the one who got me thinking about how simple SEO really can be. You know, and he says, you know, use 1 or 2 keywords on each of your posts because you confuse Google. Like, are you big? Is this post, like, should we rank it for natural hair, or should we rank it for hot pants or whatever? You know, like, pick whatever the focus, the number 1 or number 2 focus of your blog is, and put it in there. Good night, love. Wait, you didn't eat dinner yet.
I know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so whatever the number 1 or number 2 focus of your blog post is, right, exactly, Patricia, little girl, natural hair. You know, put that on there, and every one of your pictures should be named. That'll help your page views, and that'll help people come to you from Google, definitely. That's something I actually need to add to my list that I don't talk about often. So thank you for bringing that up, Janine. Google likes pictures. Google likes videos. You know, if you notice you Google something, a lot of times it'll have, depending on which browser you're in, it'll have like those photos at the top and then your results at the bottom, or it'll have videos at the top and your results at the bottom. But really, SEO, so keyword in the alt text for images. Yes, ma'am. That's right, Patricia. Keyword in the alt text for images. And whatever, and for that you can do 2. You want to do the keyword, and then you want to do comma and your blog name. Or your blog name is your name, which is very brilliant. So you can just put, you know, your name there, so that when people Google you know, well, you probably want to do 3. You can do, because I mean your stuff will be consistent. You can do whatever the keyword for that post is, your name, which is your blog name, and Boomer Wisdom, which is what I think a lot of people still do know you as. And so anytime people put that up there, you can put in there. How many keywords are you putting in the alt name? I would just put 2, unless you're someone like Patricia who has high name recognition. So like Pam, everybody knows you as Still Dating My Spouse. So you can put whatever the keyword is, and be specific about the keyword. So not just love, but a keyword could be a phrase. So it doesn't have to be like just one word, but love after domestic violence, comma, you know, still dating my spouse, or cheating spouse, comma, still dating my spouse. You know, something like that that is very specific to whatever, you know, to whatever the post is. I think that's where people get confused sometimes with keywords. I know that's where I thought a keyword just had to be like one thing, but it can actually be, a keyword can be a phrase. So your picture should always have your name in it. No, not necessarily your pictures. I always put Mama Knows It All. I don't put Brandi Riley on there, but I do put my blog name on all of my pictures. Because couple reasons. Number one, if anybody ever tries to take it, like, it'll at least be in there, you know. And then number 2, if anybody Googles Mama Knows It All, I want like a whole, you know, I want the whole front 2 pages to be me, my stuff, you know. Have a question about images without changing the subject. Okay, go ahead. And Venice, the reason I say that about wanting to have your, you know, your stuff, so like I'm Mama Knows It All, that's so easy. Like Mom Know It All, or Know It All Mom. There's a group called, I think, Mama Knows or something like that. So like a rock group or something. So I definitely want to make sure, like, as much as, or if somebody there's somebody that came in and her site is Mom Knows It All. Like, honey, bye. You know, but you know, if you Google, even if you Google Mom Knows It All, a lot of my stuff will come up. You're welcome, Val. And hugs back to you. Pamela says, so are you saving the pictures with the keywords and your name? Oh, are you saving the picture? No. The way that you're going to save your picture is, instead of whatever the number is, .jpeg, you're going to change it little girl with afro .jpeg. So you're going to save it as whatever it is. Patricia said, was wondering whether we should be putting our names on the pictures after the blog her post about being sued. So watermarks, that's a good question. Watermarks are great, and they do help your photos from getting used. However, if you're using your blog, like if you are doing sponsored posts and you want to, you know, and you watermark your picture, sometimes, like if the brand wants to share it on their Facebook page, which could result in more views for you, you know, they're not going to share it if it has a huge watermark on there. And then the other thing is, and for fashion bloggers, I know that a lot of times when we are using fashion bloggers with collective bias, we don't want them if they have, you know, the whole watermark on their thing, because they're not showing off the clothes. You're like, the watermark is taking up a big piece of the thing. So I would say you absolutely want to just go ahead and, you know, you can do a small watermark on the bottom, or you can put, you know, your name and a logo on the bottom. But, you know, I'm not a huge watermark fan. It takes away from the value. My friend Jillian has like the best blog ever, you know, and she has pictures that if I didn't know her, I would try to steal them. But I mean, like, the way that she, you know, she puts her name on the bottom and she just, you know, hopes nobody takes them. But I think people stealing pictures are a lot less prevalent than we think. And I know that certainly people are not stealing my dark little pictures. And I mean dark, well, dark in complexion, but I mean definitely dark in terms of like the lighting and stuff. Pam says she's been doing that right. Of course you have. Kim says you can use PicMonkey. Yes, PicMonkey is like the bomb for everything. Definitely the bomb. All right, guys. I love y'all terribly, but I gotta go because I gotta feed my man. So, if y'all have any other questions, we can go to the group, of course. And but thank y'all for jumping on and allowing me to practice talking. All right, bye, guys.
All right, thank you. Good
Thanks,
night.
Brandi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.